They say blood is thicker than water, but nobody mentions that it also stains deeper, stays longer, and costs more to wash out. I learned to be invisible at 12. That was the year my sister Emma made the cheerleading squad and my mother started introducing me as our responsible one. It sounded like a compliment until I realized it was actually a job description. While Emma practiced her routines, I practiced disappearing into the background, reliable, quiet, useful. 20 years later, nothing had changed. Thanksgiving morning started at 6 a.m. in my parents' kitchen. The turkey needed 4 hours, the sides another 2, and someone had to set the formal dining room table with the china my grandmother left us. That someone was always me. Lisa. Did you remember to get the cream for the pie? Mom called from the living room, where she was arranging decorative gourds for Instagram. Already whipped, I said, checking the oven temperature. By noon, the house smelled like butter and rosemary. My back ached. I'd been cooking for 6 hours while the family watched football. My sister Emma with her fiancé Derek, Uncle Paul, Aunt Marie, cousins planted in front of the TV. Dad held court in his recliner, beer in hand, narrating plays. Lisa. Emma breezed into the kitchen wearing a cream sweater that probably cost more than my rent. Oh my God, you used canned cranberry sauce? I looked at the 3 pans of homemade cranberry orange relish cooling on the counter. That's for Uncle Paul. It's just so tacky. She wrinkled her nose. At 2 o'clock, I started carrying dishes to the dining room. 12 place settings. Grandmother's lace tablecloth I'd ironed that morning. Cloth napkins folded into swans because Mom saw it on Pinterest. I was adjusting the final fork when I heard Dad's voice. Hey everyone. Come look at this. He was holding up his phone recording me. Look at our little servant, he said, panning across the table, then zooming to my face. Been working all day. Hasn't even sat down yet. Laughter erupted from the living room. My smile felt stapled on. Just finishing up. What would we do without you? He said it like a joke. The phone kept recording. I retreated to the kitchen. We ate. They complimented the food between conversations that didn't include me. Emma talked about wedding venues. Derek talked about his promotion. I refilled drinks, brought extra rolls, cleared plates. After pie, I started the dishes. Mountains of them. My phone buzzed. Michael Thompson posted a video. My father. The video showed me adjusting silverware. Dad's voice. Our daughter Lisa hard at work. Been cooking since dawn. We call her the family servant. She does everything. Laughing emoji. 37 likes already. The comments were worse. Uncle Paul. Better keep her around. Face with tears of joy. Emma. She's the best. Couldn't do holidays without her red heart. My hands shook. Friends from high school had seen it. My coworkers. My boss. I scrolled through reactions from people I hadn't spoken to in years, all witnessing my father call me a servant. Public. Permanent. That night, lying in my childhood bedroom, I stared at the ceiling. The video had 127 likes now. I thought about all the Thanksgivings before this. All the holidays where I showed up and performed. All the times I'd loaned money or helped Emma move or rearranged my life for their convenience. I thought about the word servant. How it felt different than daughter. And somewhere in the dark, still wearing the shirt that smelled like turkey grease, I felt something inside me stop bending. What would you have done in her place? I woke up to my phone vibrating. 6:47 a.m. The day after Thanksgiving. For 3 seconds I didn't remember why my chest felt heavy. Then I saw the notification. Bank alert. Withdrawal attempt of $3,000 from account 7392. Transaction requires verification. I sat up so fast the room spun. $3,000. My emergency fund. 2 years of skipping lunches, buying generic everything, saying no to trips because I was budgeting. I called the bank's fraud line with shaking fingers. This is Lisa Chen. I got an alert about a withdrawal I didn't authorize. The representative's voice was calm. I see the attempt. It was initiated through online banking using saved account access. Do you have any joint account holders? No. Just me. Has anyone had access to your login credentials? My mind raced. Years ago, when Emma was broke in college, I'd added her as a secondary user for emergency transfers. I'd removed her access after graduation. Or I thought I had. Check something. I said slowly. Is there another authorized user? Keys clicking. A pause. Yes. Emma Chen. Added in 2019 access level. Transfer privileges. My vision tunneled. That's my sister. Remove that access immediately. Of course. I'll file a fraud report. Where was the money being sent? To an account under Emma Chen's name. I hung up. My hands were numb. I pulled up Emma's contact. Me. Did you just try to take $3,000 from my account? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Emma. Oh my God, Lisa, don't freak out. Emma, I was going to pay you back. Emma. Derek's parents are paying for most of the wedding, but we needed the venue deposit today, and I thought you wouldn't mind since you always help. I stared at the screen. I thought you wouldn't mind. Me, you tried to steal $3,000. Emma. It's not stealing if I was going to pay you back. Emma, you're being so dramatic. Emma. Why do you even have alerts on? It's not like you ever spend money anyway. My breath came in short bursts. Me. That's my emergency fund. Emma. And this was an emergency. Emma, fine. Forget it. I'll figure something else out. Emma. But you don't have to be such a bitch about it. I read that last line 4 times. Then I scrolled through our message history. Requests for money, favors, free babysitting, rides to the airport. My response is always the same. Of course. No problem. What time? I opened Facebook. Dad's video had 312 likes. Someone commented, I need a Lisa in my life. The word echoed servant. They didn't just think of me that way. They believed it. My time, my money, my life were communal resources they could withdraw from whenever convenient. And I had let them. My phone buzzed. Mom. Emma told me what happened. Mom. She's really stressed about the wedding. Mom. Can you two just work this out? You know how she gets. I waited for anger. Instead, I felt something colder. Clearer. They would never see it. No matter how much I gave or how loudly I screamed, they'd never see me as anything but the person who made their lives easier. I wasn't their daughter. I was their unpaid staff. I opened my notes app and started typing. Emma. $3,000 theft attempt, November 24, 23. $800 borrowed for security deposit, 2021. Never repaid. $200 borrowed for car repair, 2022. Never repaid. Dad. $5,000 emergency loan, 2020. Never repaid. Facebook video open parenthesis 11/23 divided by 23 close parenthesis minus 312 likes. Public humiliation. Family. Thanksgiving dinner 8 hours labor, $200 plus groceries I paid for. I kept typing. Every loan. Every favor. Every holiday. The list grew to 2 pages. When I finished, I felt the weight of it. Years of accumulated debt. Not financial but emotional. They owed me. I took a screenshot of Emma's texts. Then I researched. Identity theft between family members. Unauthorized bank account access. Small claims court procedures. Downstairs, my parents made coffee, probably wondering when I'd come make breakfast. I didn't move. Instead, I changed every password, removed every authorized user, enabled every security feature. My phone buzzed constantly. Dad. Who wants pancakes? Mom. Lisa, can you grab eggs from downstairs fridge? I watched the messages pile up. For the first time in my life, I didn't respond. 20 minutes later. Mom, Lisa? Dad, you up yet? I turned my phone face down and opened a new browser tab. How to file a police report. For attempted theft. Something inside me had cracked open. But it wasn't broken. It was awake. Should she stop or finish what she started? I left my parents' house at noon without saying goodbye. They were in the living room watching the game, eating leftovers I'd packaged in neat containers. I could hear Dad's voice as I carried my bag to the car. Lisa, you leaving? Don't you want lunch? I closed the door behind me. The 30-minute drive back to my apartment felt like surfacing from underwater. My phone sat silent in the passenger seat. I turned off notifications for the family group chat. When I walked in and locked the door, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Safe. I made tea. Then I sat at my kitchen table and opened my laptop. The Facebook video was still there, still accumulating reactions. 389 likes. 43 comments. I right-clicked. Save video as. Downloaded it to a folder labeled Evidence. Then I started screenshotting. Every comment. Every reaction. The timestamp. Dad's caption. I captured it all methodical and cold. Next, Emma's texts. Screenshot. Save. Her exact words. I didn't think you'd even notice. It's not like you ever spend money anyway. You don't have to be such a bitch about it. The bank had emailed me a fraud report summary. I downloaded that too. By 3 p.m. I had a folder with 27 files. I opened a new document and started listing everything. Financial. Emma. $3,000 attempted theft. November 24, 23. Emma. $800 security deposit. March 2021. Unpaid. Emma. $200 car repair. June 2022. Unpaid. Dad. $5,000 emergency. September 2020. Unpaid. Thanksgiving expenses. $247.32. Labor. Thanksgiving prep plus cleanup. 11 hours. Christmas prep plus cleanup. 9 hours. Favor runs. 2023 40 hours. The document grew to 3 pages. Seeing it quantified made it undeniable. This wasn't love. This was extraction. My phone buzzed. Mom. Are you okay? You left without saying anything. Mom. Can you at least let us know you got home safe? Mom. Emma's really upset. She said you were cruel to her. Mom, we're family. Can't we just talk this through? Cruel. I'd called her out for trying to steal from me, and I was cruel. I walked to my bookshelf and pulled down a shoebox I hadn't opened in years. My grandmother's papers. Grandma Ruth had died when I was 19. She'd left everything to her girls, me and Emma. But Dad was executor, and somehow Emma got Grandma's jewelry and cash while I got sentimental items. Inside the box. Birthday cards, old photos, and a manila envelope labeled for Lisa Educational Fund. I opened it. Bank statements from 2006 through 2012. An education trust under Grandma Ruth's name. Lisa Chen. Monthly deposits. Interest accrual. By 2012, the account held $47,328. A sticky note in Grandma's handwriting. For Lisa's future. College, graduate school, whatever she dreams. The last statement was September 2012. Then nothing. I'd been 19 working 2 jobs to pay for community college. Taking out loans. Working 40-hour weeks. There had been $47,328 with my name on it. And I'd never seen a cent. Dad had been executor. Dad had made sure Emma got her payout. And I got a recipe box. I sat on my apartment floor surrounded by papers and felt the crack widen. This wasn't just about a video or Emma's theft. This was years. Systematic theft disguised as family. I opened my phone and started a new note. To do. Find lawyer estate fraud. File police report Emma. Trace the trust fund. Change emergency contacts. Stop answering when they call. My phone buzzed. The family group chat had 47 unread messages. I clicked leave conversation. The silence felt like oxygen. Monday morning I called in sick to work. I wasn't sick. I was strategic. At 9 a.m., I walked into the police station. The officer at the front desk looked bored until I said, I need to file a report for attempted identity theft and unauthorized bank access. His expression sharpened. Have a seat. Detective Ramirez was in her 40s, with tired eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. I showed her everything. The bank alerts, Emma's texts, the account access history. She's your sister? Ramirez asked. Yes. And you previously gave her account access? Years ago. I thought I'd removed it. I paused. She knew it was still there. She used it deliberately. Ramirez nodded slowly. The bank blocked it so no funds were taken. But the attempt with intent, that's still prosecutable. She looked up. You understand this might get messy? Family cases usually do. I understand. Okay. I'll file the report. Someone will contact her within 48 hours. I walked out feeling lighter and heavier at the same time. Next stop, the bank. I closed the old account entirely and opened a new one with different security questions, different passwords, different everything. Just to confirm, the banker said. No one will have access except you. Perfect. By noon I'd changed 17 passwords. Bank accounts, email, social media, streaming services, even the grocery delivery app Emma had used with my login. I paused at the Netflix account. The one the whole family shared. The one I paid for. Cancelled. Within 20 minutes my phone started buzzing. Emma. Did you seriously cancel Netflix? Dad. Hey, the streaming isn't working. Mom. Lisa, I think there's an issue with the account. I silenced my phone and kept going. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, I blocked all of them. Changed my Amazon password so the family wish list was inaccessible. Updated my emergency contacts at work, removing Dad and adding my friend Janice. Every small action felt like reclaiming territory. At 2 p.m., I drafted a Facebook post, taking some time to reflect on what family really means. Grateful for those who see me as more than what I can do for them. I posted it. Turned off comments. By evening, my phone had 63 notifications. I ignored all except one. A message from Aunt Diane, Dad's younger sister. Aunt Diane. Lisa, I saw your post. Are you okay? Aunt Diane had moved to Portland years ago and only showed up for major holidays. But there was something in her message. Genuine concern. Me been better. Family stuff. Aunt Diane. I saw your dad's video. That was really inappropriate. My chest tightened. Someone had noticed. Someone thought it was wrong. Aunt Diane, can we talk? Call me when you have time. I saved her number. Later I told myself. I searched for estate attorneys. The first 2 consultations were discouraging. After 12 years? That's difficult to prove. The third attorney, Miriam Katz, was different. Education trust funds have specific legal protections, she said, reviewing the bank statements I'd scanned. If your grandmother designated this money for your education and your father diverted it, that's breach of fiduciary duty at minimum. What do I need to prove it? The original trust paperwork. Your father's financial records from that period. Any communication about the trust. And we'd need to trace where that money went. How long will that take? Could be months. Could be years. No guarantee we'll recover anything. She paused. But sometimes it's not about the money. It's about the truth. I hired her on the spot. That night my phone rang. Dad's name lit up the screen. I let it ring. On the 5th ring I answered. Lisa, what the hell is going on? His voice was sharp. Not worried. Annoyed. You canceled Netflix. Emma's hysterical because a detective called her. Are you trying to humiliate this family? I let the silence stretch. You posted a video calling me your servant, I said quietly. You let Emma try to steal $3,000 from me. And you're asking if I'm humiliating you. That video was a joke. You're being overly sensitive. A joke with 400 likes that my coworkers saw. You need to drop this police thing. Family handles things internally. Something cold settled in my chest. Did you handle grandma's education trust internally too? Silence. Then, what are you talking about? The $47,000 she left for my college fund. Where did it go? Lisa, that money, it was complicated. Estate taxes, legal fees. Emma got her inheritance. Why didn't I? We invested it. In the family. You stole from me. I hung up. My hands shook. But I felt power. The power of naming what had been done. The phone rang again. I sent it to voicemail. A text appeared. Dad. You're making a huge mistake. Think about what you're doing to this family. I added it to the documentation file. Tuesday morning Aunt Diane called. Lisa, honey, your father called me last night. He was furious. Her voice was careful. I want to hear your side. I sat on my couch, coffee growing cold in my hands. Did he tell you about the video? He said it was a joke that you took the wrong way. He filmed me serving Thanksgiving dinner and posted it on Facebook calling me the family servant. It has 400 likes. Silence. Then, Jesus, Lisa. Emma tried to steal $3,000 from my bank account the next morning. When I confronted her, she called me a bitch for being dramatic. Oh my God. And I found bank statements from Grandma's education trust. $47,000 she left for my college. I never saw it. Dad was executor. The silence stretched longer this time. Lisa, Aunt Diane said slowly, I need to tell you something. About your father and money. My heart started pounding. When our mother died, your grandmother, there were 2 trusts. One for you, one for Emma. Both equal amounts. She paused. Your dad called me a month after the funeral. Said he needed to borrow $20,000 for estate expenses. I gave it to him. He never paid me back. What? I cut contact with him 3 years ago because of it. He borrowed another $15,000 2 years before that. Said it was for home repairs. I saw the receipts later. He'd taken your mother on a cruise. My vision blurred. I didn't know about your trust, Aunt Diane continued. But if he did it to me and he did it to you. She exhaled. Lisa, this is a pattern. He's been doing this for years. Why didn't you tell me? I thought about it. But you seem so close to them. And I didn't want to be the bitter sister causing drama. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry. I should have said something. I pressed my palm against my forehead. How much did he take from you total? $35,000. The number hung in the air. Do you have documentation? I asked. Bank transfers. Text messages. I kept everything because I knew. She stopped. I knew someday it would matter. Can you send them to me? I'll email them today. Lisa, if you're going after him legally, I'll testify. I should have done this years ago. After we hung up, I sat staring at nothing. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just this year, this holiday, this video. My father had been systematically stealing from his own family for decades. I opened my laptop and pulled up the documentation file. Added a new section. Aunt Diane $35,000 stolen, 2017 to 2020. Then I started searching through old emails, looking for any mention of Grandma's estate. I found one. From Dad. Sent 3 months after Grandma died. Subject. Estate update. Lisa, wanted to let you know Grandma's estate is settled. Emma received her portion, $45,000. Your trust is being reinvested for better returns. I'll manage it, and we can discuss disbursement when you're ready for grad school. Love, Dad. I read it 5 times. Being reinvested. I'd never gone to grad school. I'd worked 2 jobs through community college and taken out loans for my bachelor's degree. I'd asked him about it once senior year. He'd said the market crashed and the money was temporarily tied up. He'd promised we'd figure something out. We never did. I forwarded the email to Miriam Katz, my attorney. Then I kept digging. Another email from Mom sent a year later. Honey, I know money is tight with school. Have you asked your father about Grandma's trust? I thought there was supposed to be education money set aside for you. My response. Dad said it's invested. He's handling it. Mom's reply, okay, sweetie. He knows best about these things. I wanted to scream. She'd known. She'd questioned it. And then she deferred to him and never brought it up again. I found photos from 2013. Emma's wedding. The reception at a country club. Her dress from a boutique in Manhattan. The honeymoon in Bali. I found photos from 2014. My parents' kitchen renovation. New granite countertops, custom cabinets, professional-grade appliances. I found photos from 2015. Their anniversary trip to Italy. 2 weeks. First-class flights. I did the math. The trust had held $47,328 in 2012. Emma's wedding. Approximately $40,000. Kitchen renovation. Approximately $25,000. Italy trip. Approximately $8,000. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. They hadn't just stolen my future. They'd spent it. On themselves. On Emma. On luxuries and celebrations while I worked myself to exhaustion. I pulled out my phone and called Miriam. I found the email, I said. And I think I know where the money went. Send me everything. I spent the next 3 hours forwarding emails, screenshots of Facebook photos with dates and captions, credit card statements I'd found in old files from when I'd helped Dad organize his office 2 years ago. Every piece of evidence felt like a stone added to a wall I was building between us. By evening, Miriam called back. This is strong, she said. Really strong. The email alone shows intent to hold the trust. The timeline matches Emma's wedding and your parents' expenses. If we can subpoena his bank records from that period, we can likely prove misappropriation. What happens next? I file a civil suit for breach of fiduciary duty and fraud. We demand full accounting of the estate and restitution. This will get ugly. Lisa. He'll fight back. I looked at the wall of my apartment, the photo of my family still face down on my desk. Let him, I said. Wednesday afternoon, Aunt Diane flew in from Portland. We met at a cafe downtown, far from my parents' neighborhood. When she walked in, I barely recognized her, older, thinner, but her eyes had the same sharpness I remembered from childhood. She hugged me tight. I'm so sorry I didn't do this sooner. We sat. She pulled out a folder thick with papers, bank transfers, texts where he promised to pay me back, emails where he asked for just one more loan. I kept everything. She slid it across the table. I felt crazy for keeping it all, like I was the paranoid one. You weren't crazy, I said. After I cut him off, he told the whole family I was bitter and jealous, that I'd always resented him. Her voice cracked. Your mom stopped calling. Emma unfriended me on Facebook. I lost everyone because I said no. I reached across and squeezed her hand. He's good at it, Aunt Diane continued, making you feel like you're the problem, like wanting your own money back is selfish. He told me I was humiliating the family. That's his move. Flip it so you're the villain. She leaned forward. Lisa, he'll try to turn everyone against you. Are you ready for that? I thought about the family group chat I'd left, the voicemails I hadn't listened to, the wall I was building brick by brick. I'm already alone, I said quietly. I've been alone the whole time. I just didn't realize it. Aunt Diane's eyes filled. You're not alone anymore. We spent 2 hours going through her documents, cross-referencing dates with mine, building a timeline that spanned 15 years. 2008. Dad borrows $20,000 from Aunt Diane for estate expenses. 2012. Grandma's trust $47,328 vanishes. 2013. Emma's $40,000 wedding. 2017. Dad borrows another $15,000 from Aunt Diane. 2020. Dad borrows $5,000 from me. 2023. Emma attempts to steal $3,000 from me. The pattern was undeniable. He targets the women in the family, Aunt Diane said. Takes from the ones who'll feel guilty saying no. I looked at the timeline and felt something shift. This wasn't about me being difficult or ungrateful. This was about him being a predator. Before Aunt Diane left, she held my shoulders. Whatever you need, testimony documents, a place to stay, I'm here. We're going to get through this. For the first time in days I cried. Not from pain. From relief. Someone believed me. Someone saw it too. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't cruel. I was just finally awake. Thursday night Mom called. I'd been avoiding her. But when her name lit up my screen at 11 p.m., something made me answer. Lisa. Her voice was thick like she'd been crying. Please. You need to stop this. Stop what? The police report. The lawyer. Your aunt flying in and filling your head with lies. She was sobbing now. You're tearing this family apart. I'm tearing it apart? My voice rose. Dad stole $50,000 from me. Emma tried to steal $3,000 more. And I'm the problem. Your father made mistakes, but he's still your father. He loves you. He called me a servant on Facebook. It was a joke, Lisa. You used to have a sense of humor. Her voice turned sharp. You know what I think? I think you've always been jealous of Emma. She's getting married, she's happy, and you can't stand it. The words hit like a slap. Jealous. I whispered. You've always been competitive with her. And now you're punishing all of us because you feel left out. Something inside me cracked open. Not grief but rage. I cooked Thanksgiving dinner for 8 hours while you took Instagram photos. I've loaned Dad $5,000 he never paid back. I worked 2 jobs through college while you paid for Emma's dream wedding with my inheritance. My voice shook. And you think I'm jealous? You're being cruel and selfish. The daughter I raised would never. The daughter you raised was a doormat. I shouted. And I'm done being her. Silence. Then Mom's voice cold. If you pursue this lawsuit, you'll have no family left. Is that what you want? My throat burned. If that's the family I have, then maybe I don't want it. I hung up and immediately wanted to call back, to apologize, to fix it, but I didn't. I sat in the dark and let myself feel the full weight of what I just lost. The meeting was set for Saturday. Neutral ground, Miriam's office conference room. Dad showed up in a suit like he was going to court. Mom looked pale, her hands clutching her purse. Emma came with Derek, her eyes red and swollen. I arrived with Aunt Diane and Miriam. We sat across from each other like opposing armies. Let's keep this civil, Miriam began. We're here to discuss restitution for funds misappropriated from Lisa's grandmother's education trust, as well as unpaid loans. Dad leaned back, arms crossed. This is ridiculous. I managed that money responsibly. Then you can show us where it went, Miriam said calmly, sliding a document across the table. This is the trust statement from 2012. $47,000 designated for Lisa's education. This is an email where you told Lisa the money was being reinvested. Where is it now? Estate expenses. Legal fees. It was complicated. Emma received her full inheritance in 2013, I said quietly. Why didn't I receive mine? Emma flinched. Lisa, I didn't know. Your wedding cost $40,000, I continued, looking at her. Paid for by Dad. The same year my trust disappeared. That's not, Emma's voice broke. That's not my fault. You tried to steal $3,000 from me the day after Thanksgiving. She started crying. Derek put his arm around her. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Enough. I am your father. I made decisions for this family's benefit. You stole from your own daughter. Aunt Diane's voice cut through. And your own sister. $35,000 from me. $47,000 from Lisa. You're a thief, Michael. You turned everyone against me. Dad shouted at Diane, poisoning Lisa's mind. I showed her bank statements, Aunt Diane said coldly. The truth poisoned itself. Mom finally spoke, her voice small. Can't we just work this out as a family? I looked at her, the woman who'd known something was wrong and chosen to look away, who'd called me cruel for demanding accountability. You called me the family servant, I said to Dad. Posted it online for everyone to see. So here's what happens now. I slid a document across the table. Full restitution of the trust funds plus interest. A written apology posted publicly. Or I file criminal charges. Dad's face went red. You wouldn't dare. I met his eyes. Try me. He grabbed the document, crumpled it and stood. You're not my daughter anymore. Good, I said. Because you were never really my father. He stormed out. Mom followed, crying. Emma stayed, staring at the table. Lisa, I'm sorry. I didn't know about the trust. I swear. But you knew about trying to steal from my account. She had no answer. Derek pulled her up gently. Come on, Em. When they left, I sat in the silence. Aunt Diane squeezed my hand. You did the right thing. I nodded. But it didn't feel right. Felt like loss. 3 months later, the lawsuit was settled. Dad never apologized publicly. Instead, his lawyer negotiated a payment plan. $47,000 plus interest, paid over 5 years. Miriam said it was the best we'd get without going to trial, which could take years and cost more than I'd recover. I took the settlement. Not because I forgave him, because I was tired of fighting. The Facebook video was still up. I'd reported it twice. Facebook said it didn't violate community standards. So I posted my own video. I sat in front of my phone camera and told the truth. The whole truth. The servant comment, the theft attempt, the stolen trust fund. I kept my voice calm, showed documents with numbers. Redacted, explained why I'd gone no contact. Family isn't blood, I said at the end. It's respect. And I finally respect myself enough to walk away. It went viral. 20,000 views in 3 days. Hundreds of comments from people sharing their own stories of family exploitation. Some relatives reached out with support. Others called me a liar, said I was bitter and vindicated. I blocked them and kept moving forward. Emma sent a message 2 weeks after the settlement. Emma, I'm in therapy, talking about a lot of things. I'm really sorry, Lisa. For all of it. I know sorry isn't enough, but I'm trying to understand why I thought it was okay to treat you like that. I didn't respond immediately. I sat with it for days. Finally, I wrote back. Me. I'm glad you're getting help. I hope you figure it out. But I need space. Maybe someday we can talk. Not now. Emma. I understand. I love you. I didn't say it back. Mom never reached out. Dad sent one email through his lawyer, claiming I'd destroyed the family, and I'd regret this someday. I deleted it without finishing. Aunt Diane became my family. We had dinner every Sunday, sometimes just us, sometimes with her partner, sometimes with friends I was slowly learning to trust. On Thanksgiving, I hosted for the first time. Just 4 people around my wobbly IKEA table. Aunt Diane, Janice from work, Miriam, and her wife. We made too much food and laughed too loud, and no one asked me to serve them. When I brought out the turkey, Aunt Diane raised her glass. To Lisa, she said, who taught us all what boundaries look like. To Lisa, they echoed. I looked around the table, this small, imperfect gathering of people who actually saw me, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. After dinner, I stood at my kitchen sink doing dishes. My phone sat on the counter silent. No family group chat. No demands. No expectations I couldn't meet. Through the window, I could see the city lights. My small apartment, my quiet life, my freedom. I thought about Grandma Ruth. About the money she'd left, believing in a future I'd build. The trust fund was gone, but I'd found something worth more. My voice. I dried my hands and pulled out my laptop, opened a blank document, and started writing. Not about revenge. Not about betrayal. About what comes after. About rebuilding. About the slow, painful work of choosing yourself when no one else will. The words came easily, because for the first time in my life I wasn't writing what they wanted to hear. I was writing my truth. I looked at Grandma's photo on my shelf, her kind smile, her knowing eyes. I'm nobody's servant anymore, I whispered. And in the quiet of my apartment, surrounded by people I'd chosen and a life I'd reclaimed, I finally believed. Thanks for watching my story to the end. Hit the subscription button for more exclusive story.